What is Cafe Mocha? Experts, celebrities.
Hey, this is John Legend.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
I am Ian Levinson.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Tamar Braxton.
Music and features from a woman's perspective. Intriguing conversation. The Swag Award. Espresso. The MC Light Mix. Radio from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
This is Angelique. Welcome to Cafe Mocha. This weekend we're asking, how are you getting smarter in relationships? With the recent Ray Rice scandal, Dr. Rachel from The Doctors joins us to talk about picking smarter and how to recognize an abuser before the abuse begins. And NBC's Tamron explains what to do if you're already in a bad situation. It's going to be a great show. It's Cafe Mocha. I am here in studio with Dr. Rachel of The Doctors. Great to finally meet you in person.
Great to be here in person, yeah.
Now, this week we're talking about how to make smarter choices in relationships. Our whole theme this month is how are you getting smarter? And of course, with the Ray Rice video that came out, domestic violence is at the forefront. So I'm curious, just overall, your thoughts on the Ray Rice incident.
Well, it was a very unfortunate incident, and I think, what happens to couples and people in their own home, whenever it's broadcast in public situations like that, it's always, we can replay it, we can rewind it, we can see it, we can see the punch, we can see the spit, so the amount of angst and anger that comes from that is going to be even tenfold. But I think we also have to keep in mind that what happened to Ray Rice happens to millions of women all the time at home, our sisters, our mothers, our cousins. And so I think it's a good time to really kind of discuss it and talk about it, because it's something that women face on a day-to-day basis that particularly, as we could see in terms of the response that people were giving, is misunderstood and underestimated.
Right.
Abusers are typically very charming.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the relationship, everything is fantastic. You're bragging to your friends and your family, but I have met the perfect guy. And so oftentimes that first incident is so embarrassing because you've bragged about him to everybody.
Right.
You've told everybody on Facebook, you've tweeted about it. You're like, this man is amazing. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden you're dealing with the embarrassment of having to deal with the reality that maybe he's not. Okay. So that's kind of the first nick that happens that often makes people stay, because wait a minute, just yesterday he was fantastic. He was taking me places. He was treating me nice. He was funny. He's kind. He's asking me how I'm doing. And today we've had this incident. It's probably going to go away because all these other times he's been fantastic. So I think one thing we have to keep in mind that most abusers are charming. They're not the guy who nobody likes. He's the guy that walks into the room and is very charismatic. He's sarcastic. He covers a lot of his fear and his pain with cracking jokes, but what he's doing by cracking jokes is abusers are controlling. Mm-hmm. So when he's cracking jokes and being sarcastic, he's trying to manipulate the situation so that it fits what he wants it to be, his vision of it.
All right, we are talking to Dr. Rachel about the warning signs of being with an abuser. It's Cafe Mocha, more coming up.
Here we go.
It's Cafe Mocha. This month we are focused on how are we getting smarter. This week, we're talking about smarter relationships, and specifically, we're here with Dr. Rachel of The Doctors talking about the warning signs that you have met an abuser. So he's controlling.
He's controlling.
He's charming. He's controlling.
Very charming. Very
what
controlling.
Else?
And he's very jealous. And ladies have to think about this. It's so cute the first time someone's a little jealous. He's like, oh my goodness, he's worried that I was out and talking to other guys, and he wants me here with him. And what you have to keep in mind is that is the precursor to a really bad situation. When someone is jealous early on, they're kind of jealous when you're out with your girls. They're kind of jealous when you go out with your sister. those are huge warning flags that this guy, because if it's that bad the first couple months we're dating, it is going to morph into something that's out of control. So little signs of jealousy is a huge warning sign. Jealousy, because it's a natural thing. We get jealous. Jealous is a natural thing. But when you start to act jealous, that's when the problem becomes.
As a friend, I can't just say, come stay here.
No, well, here's the thing. You can say it, they probably won't.
Right, they won't.
The thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think as friends and family members, when you have someone that's obviously in an abusive relationship, the best thing that you can be is that person who listens when they come to talk to you. You're not judging, and you're constantly giving them pearls of wisdom and nuggets to let them know that they have a safe place to come when they're ready.
Right.
And because the more you're like, I can't take it, you're always over there, and then you come crying to me and I don't understand it and I don't want to talk about it. What you're actually doing is shutting them out. And this person is in a hurt space. They're scared. They really don't know what to do. Because what happens is they build this dream and this image around this relationship. And when they finally realize that that's not it, it's hard to let it go. And so they've become so accustomed to the abuse and they really don't have an out. Sometimes it's financial pressure.
Sure.
Sometimes it's the pressure, this is my kid's father. I don't want the kids to be without the father. So there's all of these things that go into play that makes it very difficult for her to walk away. And as a friend, your best space is to not be judgmental about it, not take it to bed with you, because this isn't your stress. You can't let your friend stress you out.
Right.
And then to just kind of step back into space and be there for her when she's ready.
All right, we are talking to Dr. Rachel of The Doctors. I do want to talk about how to get out of an abusive relationship and then talk about the new season of The Doctors. Oh, and your hair. Yeah, we got to talk about your hair, girl. It's Cafe Mocha. Cafe Mocha just getting this relationship discussion started. It continues with our Twitter party Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We want to hear about your relationship. Make sure you join our hashtag Smarter Living Twitter party presented by Hyundai. It could get you an American Express gift card this Wednesday, 9 p.m. hashtag Smarter Living.
This is Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha in studio live with Dr. Rachel of The Doctors. How can we get smarter in relationships? This whole Ray Rice thing, the whole abuse thing has opened a door that, quite frankly, for most women, it's right there. I mean, we are, all of us know someone who's in an abusive relationship.
Yep.
So I don't know why this is news, but I'm glad that it's news and that it's getting the attention that it needs. But Dr. Rachel, let's say you're in an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Give us some steps to get out.
First thing, if you're in an abusive relationship, you have to practice preparedness. So you really do need an emergency kit. And that emergency kit is going to have some money in it. You need to have cash, because really, at the end of it, credit cards are easy to track, because when you're getting out of an abusive relationship, the whole thing is you have to hide.
Right.
You need to know where the women's shelters are in your area. You need to know of a family member or a friend that would take you in and perhaps be very secretive about it. Because the whole thing is, when you leave, you're actually kind of going into hiding. You need to have emergency numbers in your phone. You also need to even, like your mom's number, maybe even put her number as a code, So maybe instead of mom underneath the listing, you have her as a different name.
Okay.
Because what's happening is he's going to try to cut you off from all of the people that he knows could possibly rescue you.
Right.
So the whole thing is, you got to have a plan. You got to have some money, and you need to have a bag packed and ready to go. And you need to understand, too, that the kids are going to be better away from the abuser than they are going to be in that home. Too often women want to stay for the kids, but what you're actually doing is damaging their future. Your daughters are watching you get abused. Your sons are watching you get abused. What happens to your sons are your sons grow up hating women because they've been mad at you all this time for staying in the abusive relationship.
Interesting.
Yes.
See, I would think they would be mad just at men or be abusers. Interesting.
Typically, they end up hating and despising women because they're so mad at their mom putting up up with that. Because what's happening is the abuser abuses him, and then the next day she's making him dinner.
Right.
And spending more time with the abuser than she's spending on me. Why is my mom doing that to me? So it's very damaging to the boys. And the girls, what it does to them is make them think it's okay.
Sure.
So that they repeat the same cycle of abuse that they saw mom in. So it's never safer for mom to stay with the abuser than it is to leave. Because your kids, your future, these people that you brought into this universe and you're supposed to make better than you, are actually suffering more than you are when they watch you get abused by a man.
It's Cafe Mocha. More with Dr. Rachel on the way.
Baby.
More with Dr. Rachel is coming up. But don't forget, if you're in Vegas this weekend, catch Lonnie Love at the Venetian on the Lipstick Tour. More of Cafe Mocha on the way. This hour on Cafe Mocha, did y'all see Jordan Sparks and Jason Derulo broke up? The ladies of Madame Noir have a hot new feature on the show called Did Y'all See? That and Tamron Hall next. It's Cafe Mocha.
Hey, boy.
It's Cafe Mocha live in studio. Is Dr. Rachel finally getting to meet you face to face? And let's talk about, first of all, our theme this month is how am I getting smarter?
Yeah.
And I look at you when we started 5 years ago, Cafe Mocha, you were doing your little podcast, doing your little YouTube stuff, and now you are on The Doctors.
And it's interesting that you say little podcast and little YouTube, because that little stuff that you're calling little is the same stuff that got me
you
on
The Doctors.
So, I mean, I encourage everybody who's trying to do something to do it in whatever capacity you have available. And now there's no way that you can't podcast. You can use your own phone to do it. When I was setting up a video camera and then transporting the data into my laptop and putting it up there. It's so easy now to have your own means of broadcasting your talents to the world. And it all starts there. When you put time and money and energy into yourself, other people recognize it, and that's how you end up in the positions that you want to be in. It's so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled. So tell us about The Doctors this season.
So The Doctors this season, I mean, really, I just wake up some mornings and I'm like, pinch me. It's so amazing. Yes, because, we're doing something called Simple Moments of Contagious Kindness. We're encouraging people to smock other people by just doing kind things. There's so much anger, there's so much resentment in the world that if we're doing kind things to each other, it becomes contagious. So we want people to videotape their smocks, talk about them, hashtag smock. And what we're finding is it's contagious. Even little things like paying the toll for a couple people back.
Okay.
Picking up someone else's Starbucks bill when you're there. It doesn't have to be monetarily centered, but it just needs to come from a place of kindness.
Okay.
And it's contagious. So The Doctors, every day you're going to laugh, learn, and cry along with us.
Okay.
And so I'm just be able to give stuff away on a show and change people's lives and give medical information to not just here in our country, but 120 other countries that get the show has just been an amazing experience. It's unbelievable.
All right. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
How do people reach you?
drrachel.com. You can tweet me. Follow me on Instagram. DrRachael. And if you have a question for me, hashtag Ask Dr. Rachel. And of course, check me out on The Doctors every day.
All right, super. Thank you so much.
All right, it's my pleasure.
Okay.
What's being talked about on the street, online, and sister to sister? It's Did Y'all See? On Cafe Mocha.
Did y'all see Jason Derulo out here getting his shine on, talking about his breakup with Jordan Sparks and how she pressured him to marry her as if he didn't drop a song called Marry Me? What did you think she was going to do?
She did pressure him. She was all in the interviews talking about, I don't know when he's going to propose, but it'll probably be soon.
Because he dropped a song.
Something we as women need to stop doing is putting our lives on hold, following men wherever they go, and then waiting and expecting a ring to pop up when we're ready for it.
But honestly, though, I feel like he was more riding off of her coattails. I feel like when you see Jason and Jordan together, it's like, oh, look, Jordan brought Jason.
Okay.
I mean, wasn't nobody checking for him
That
until
is so not true.
until these two singles came out this summer? Nobody knew what that
Until he
dude
broke
did.
his neck, and she nursed him back to health. Nobody checking for him.
What was his single? What was his single?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody knows who that dude is.
No.
He's
We
whack.
know, but people know who he is. is.
No.
And she ain't did nothing in years, so let's
She
stop
was
that
on
shit.
American
She's
Idol.
balling.
Her shine was
okay,
bigger than
and that was
his.
many years ago.
And she was in
Many
Sparkle.
seasons.
She was in Sparkle last year.
Many seasons.
Too many seasons to not have
Whitney's
a ring.
been going for a long
That's
time.
the
That's
problem.
many seasons.
That's the problem. He out here
Sorry.
trying to shine like a bachelor.
Sorry,
because somebody's checking for him for
she was on
once.
his arm.
The dude is whack.
That was Did Y'all See with the ladies of Madame Noir on Cafe Mocha. For more, check out cafemocharadio.com.
It's Cafe Mocha. I'm here with Tamron Hall. First of all, congratulations on the new appointment at NBC. Thank you. Now, this weekend we're focusing on how are you getting smarter in relationships. And we've been talking to women about domestic violence and how to sort of spot the signs. But let's talk about what happens if you're in a relationship. What is the best advice that you could give to a woman?
It's interesting you ask. I just hosted a panel last night in Harlem. It was standing room only with advocates providing information, with survivors providing information. The first thing that all of the survivors that I work with have said, don't ask a woman why you're leaving, why you're staying. You say, here's how you can help, or here's how we can help. And there are so many agencies in New York and now around the country that are providing attorneys, shelter. Last night we talked about single women. This is something that you should talk about on the show. Single women have a very difficult time getting into shelters. Typically they want to allow in women with smaller children. They see a more urgent need. But a woman, for example, with a 16-year-old son or a single woman often are shunned when it's time to provide them a place. So we talked about that. And in New York City, they are working diligently in the mayor's office to make sure that no person seeking help is turned away. So I think that's part of the conversation, but first and foremost, it's letting people know that there is help and we are here for them.
And how do they reach your organization?
Right now we have Shine a Light, and Day One is the organization that I am raising money for. If you go to crowdrise.com/Tamron Hall, you can make a donation, and you can also read about Day One. They are a tremendous organization based in New York. They have a gala coming up in a couple of weeks. I will be there, but they provide resources for people across the board. You call them and you tell them that Tamron Hall said call them. If you need help, you are not alone, and we're here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations.
So much. The Espresso is brought to you by the American Cancer Society. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. We need your help to finish the fight against breast cancer. I'm Angelique, and we asked Tretch of Naughty by Nature how he's living smarter in his relationship.
Well, we definitely had offers from Love and Hip Hop New York and stuff. Just other things that we really wanted to accomplish in our relationship first before we got on air, because then other stuff might come out that shouldn't. So we thought like, it'd be better for us to do that. Like, we're a big fan of Love and Hip Hop, watch it and all, but we just thought better for us would be couples therapy.
Camille and Richmond shared this on Smarter Relationships.
How to know if a man is really in love with you. You think it's because he's buying you flowers, gifts, taking you out to eat. That's actually because he's after something else.
Okay.
So, that may be a warning sign.
At Set Your DVR, Key and Peele are back Wednesdays, 10:30 p.m. on Comedy Central. Peele channels President Obama for this message.
Michelle loves the show, and if she likes it, then it's gonna be on. So Michelle holds the remote.
Catch the full interview with Key and Peele at cafemocharadio.com. That's the Espresso. I'm Angelique.
This is Cafe Mocha.
MC Light and the Light Mix wrapping up the show, and the show may be over, but we're not done talking about relationships. If you want to air out some of your drama, go to our #SmarterLiving Twitter party presented by Hyundai. It's coming up this Wednesday, October 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern. It could win you an American Express gift card. Follow #SmarterLiving or go to cafemocharadio.com. Oh, and don't forget Lonnie Love in Las Vegas at the Venetian this weekend. We'll see you next time.
Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Westwood One. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. Writer and producer Angelique Parrott. For comments, booking, and more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.